Jersey's youth and the Justice Coalition have declared this day one on a spring justice offensive. We will be out in the streets. We will be in the schools. We will be in the city council meetings. We will be in their face. We will not rest until Deputy Dalehouse is indicted for the shooting of 13-year-old Andy Lopez. May 31st, from all over the state, people will be converging on Santa Rosa for a mass statewide mobilization.
I also want to address the cops here. Every one of you guys, it seems like none of the law enforcement in Sonoma County can relate to what if this was your child. But in my case, I can sit here and tell you guys firsthand how bad it hurts to explain to your child that their best friend is gone. So maybe you can relate to that. Because you guys cannot pick and choose who your child's best friend is. So when you sit there, look at your children, you look at their best friend, how would you explain to them that their best friend was shot and killed? How would you explain that? What would you want done in that situation? You guys can't seem to not even be able to fathom how it would feel for your child to be gone. So think about it as your child's best friend. Talk to one another. Think about what is right. Speak up. If you guys see something within each other's groups, your partner, somebody doing something wrong, speak up about it. Because you don't know whose life that could change later. You guys have a responsibility to do what is right. You guys look at these children. Look at them as your child's best friend. What would you do? What would you guys seriously do if one of them were gone? How would you explain to your child? How? How do you explain to them that they're not going to be able to see their best friend anymore? Look at these children. Look at them. All of them. They are Andy. Each one of these children. Kids, come over here. I want them to all take a look at you. Please.
These are the individuals who produce mass fear in your heart. These are the people that produce the kind of fear that makes you feel compelled to have to pump 7 bullets in them. This is essentially what you're fearing. This. So as you're sitting there holding a stick and with your badge and your radio and all your backup, take note. This is what you fear. So it is preposterous for you to perform your job when every day as you walk around, this is essentially what is provoking the fear that lies in your heart. That is sad. That is sad. And all of you, as you wake up in the morning and look in the mirror, you ought to be ashamed of yourself that minors, 13-year-old kids, is what produce fear in your heart. That's preposterous. Oh, I'm sorry, my man right here is 12. 12 years old. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, fellas.
The bullshit excuse of I feared for my life, you guys are taking up that position. Every day you put on your uniform. That is what you are getting paid for.
He didn't fear for his
You
life.
are paying for, we are paying you guys for that.
He did not fear
You
for
guys
his
are
life.
taking that risk not to sit there and kill our children. These are our children. This is our future. This right here is our future. Every one of these kids. One day, hopefully some of them will be filling your position.
Now I have Mrs. Ana Salgado, a prominent member of the community who would like to say a few words to you all.
Yeah.
Gracias a todas por acompañarnos y aquí estamos. No conocí a Andy López, lo estoy conociendo a través de ustedes. Soy mamá y estoy apoyando por eso. Todos somos Andy López. Es hora de que hagamos un alto y le digamos a la policía no más abusos, no más niños asesinados por ustedes, no más niños yendo a la cárcel solo porque ustedes creen que ellos son delincuentes. Estamos aquí apoyando a esos jóvenes que se pararon enfrente de ustedes, que son nuestro futuro. Andy dejó muchos líderes apoyémoslo. Esos son los líderes de nosotros. Estamos aquí apoyando jóvenes que nos van a llevar a nuestro futuro diferente, donde la policía no va a ser como ahorita se está comportando. Es hora de que aprendan y de que entiendan que se necesita un cambio radical, ahora, y justicia para Andy López. Gracias a todos por acompañarnos y vamos a estén atentos a lo nuevo que se viene, porque esto no ha terminado, esto se está poniendo fuerte y cada día estamos teniendo más gente apoyando. Justicia por Andy Lopez.
We have another speaker representing the Justice Coalition for Andy Lopez.
Hello everyone. Really good to see all of you here joining us today. Glad that we could speak to these officers as one of us. I hope you can feel it, officers. We're not your enemy. Okay? We're doing nothing for you. There's no reason for you to have weapons. No reason for you to have sticks, to be in defensive posture. Okay? We're all on the same side here. We just want justice. You guys just need to start looking at us as citizens. Thank you.
We have another speaker representing the Justice Coalition for Alan Bluford, straight from Oakland.
Hi, so I'm with the Justice for Alan Bluford Coalition. You guys sent your representatives down to Oakland on Thursday to join in a campaign that we launched down there to demand that State Attorney General Kamala Harris prosecute all the killer cops all over California, including Gail House.
That's right.
And so what we tried to do on Thursday was make it clear that she has the power to step over these county DAs that are refusing to do their job and prosecute these killer cops. She's over all the county DAs, over all the county sheriffs, and over all the local police departments, and it's her job to see that justice is equally meted out. We'd like you guys to join with us in our statewide campaign to demand that Kamala Harris prosecute all the killer cops. Thank you.
I'm Summer Reese. I'm the Executive Director of the Pacifica Foundation, KBFA Radio. And I think one of the roles, we've got all kinds of media here, is to continue shining a spotlight on government injustice. The police continue to kill children in cities across the country. Racists continue to kill children across the country. This is going on over and over and over again. And it's important to keep pressing until things like this officer's tried for murder. And we've seen it happen. We need to keep pressing to have that happen over and over until there's some accountability and they can recognize the difference between a 12 or 13-year-old child and an actual threat. So, just keep coming every time there's something to come to until something happens to have actual accountability, because they get away with it because people don't fight back hard enough, and people keep fighting back, and there are more people every time this happens, and I think we may see a change eventually, but only if we keep coming out every time that we're asked to. Thank you.
At this point in time, I would like to welcome an individual who has been imperative in our quest to achieve justice for Andy Lopez. This gentleman comes directly from the Answer Coalition, and his name is Forrest Schmidt. He has been with us from day one, and we would really love to hear what he's got to say today.
I'm really proud to have been a part of the organizing going on here. We have to really know how unusual and critical this is, what we're doing. Every year, the police kill hundreds of people in the United States. Almost 60 people have been killed in Santa Rosa by the police without anything being done about it. The police are killing people in Oakland, in San Francisco, in Vallejo, in Richmond, in Manteca, in Sacramento, and in Fresno. And most of the time, a family stands alone. If someone that they say was a gang member kills someone else, there's maybe some resources, some counseling. But the family has been left completely without resources, on their own. They've been harassed by the police. They've been followed by the police. The family is doing a courageous thing by being here today, and they need our support and our thanks. They've had a horrible thing happen to them, and I don't know how I would be outside right now if someone that I loved had been murdered by the police, but they're here. And I feel that I have to be standing next to them. I don't know where else I could be. And we see that so many people from the community have stood up with nothing to gain, put their safety and their Saturdays and their Mondays and their Wednesdays at the service of this movement. But then there's something else that's happened. The police, the corporate media, and the government have had a different reaction. Their reaction has been to demonize Andy and say, what was he doing? Why would he be outside with a toy gun? And of course he must have altered the toy gun to make it look more like a real gun. And of course he must have pointed it at the police officer rather than just being kind of turning around when someone shouts at him. They blame Andy and they blame his family, and when that's not enough and when we still rally around them, they harass people. They've beaten people up, they've jailed people, they're threatening people with years in prison for standing up. Ramon is facing years in prison because he thought we should be able to be in a city council meeting, and the police thought that we shouldn't. Louis is facing years in prison because he had a stapler to help some kids make signs. Someone called the police, said he was brandishing a firearm. This is the kind of thing that's happening. Every demonstration practically brings new charges, and so those who are new and those who don't know have to know that this is life and death, that we have to stick up for each other, that this is a marathon, not a sprint, but we also can't afford to go slow as though it was a marathon. We are going to get Gelhaus fired. We are going to get him charged with murder. We are also going to get fundamental change in how law enforcement works in Santa Rosa. We're going to get fundamental change in the race relations in Santa Rosa, where you can have second-class citizens, people treated like dirt because they're not white. We're going to get fundamental change where you can have rich people have anything they want in their playground, and then the workers who provide that playground have nothing. And then we're also going to stand up every time someone's killed in Vallejo, Sacramento, San Francisco. There were people, Louis, Ramon, Jamie, a number of others were in Oakland when we were being arrested. They spoke out for Andy, but they also stuck up for Oscar Grant. They stuck up for Alan Bluford. They stuck up for everyone who's been murdered by the police, and that kind of solidarity is going to see change not only in Santa Rosa, but all over the United States. Thank you so much.
Hi everyone, my name's David Douglas. I'm a student at UC Berkeley and a national organizer with the Coalition to Defend Affirmative Action, Integration, Immigrant Rights, and Fight for Equality by any means necessary, BAM. We need to keep organizing, keep mobilizing, demanding the jailing of Eric Gelhaus for the murder of Andy Lopez. We need to organize mass action against the segregation and racism in Sonoma County. Millions of undocumented immigrants across the nation are fighting for their citizenship rights. They work in the great fields, they work in our economy, they contribute to our society, yet they're treated like second-class citizens and they're segregated to poor communities like Roseland, like Moreland. So we need to keep fighting, keep uniting together. They're trying to charge activists for peacefully protesting and leading marches. We demand that these bogus charges be dropped. They're targeting and arresting young members of Andy's youth for organizing and continuing to fight for their family member, for their classmate. We were organizing in Cook Middle School where Andy Lopez went to school, and his friends still want to fight for justice for him, yet the principal called the police on us and said we were reminding the students of Andy's death. No, we must keep fighting. So let's join together, have the public tribunal to keep getting the level of racism out and an end to second-class treatment, and let's keep organizing mass action and uniting together. Thank you.
So my name is Ramon, and essentially what I would like to say is, first and foremost, thank you guys very much for allowing us the opportunity to come up here and speak to you guys. Second of all, I would also like to thank the Lopez family for allowing us the opportunity to sit here en masse and speak about the heinous execution of their child. Our main purpose today was to provide focus, emphasis, and information in terms of what actually occurred over the heinous execution of Andy Lopez. And so with that in mind, this is merely the beginning of a series of events that we got planned in order for us to continue our quest to achieve and acquire justice for Andy Lopez. Next week, well, ever since Andy Lopez was executed on October 22nd of 2013 on a Tuesday, Andy's Youth has decided to promote something called Andy Tuesdays. So in honor of Andy Tuesday, what we have decided to do is we will host a series of marches. And these marches are essentially to provide emphasis on something called a novenario. A novenario is 9 days of prayer in honor of the dead. We're going to extend that to make it 9 weeks, starting from February 25th up until April 22nd. April 22nd will mark the 6 months of Andy's heinous execution. And with that in mind, we hope that you make your presence there, and we formally invite you. And please ask that you come and support us. All of these marches will take place on the west side of Santa Rosa at various neighborhoods, all impoverished, disenfranchised, and essentially disconnected from the city. We will start at the Andy Lopez Memorial in Moreland, and every week proceeding hence, go to a different community, letting them know that everybody in Sonoma County is here in support of acquiring justice for Andy Lopez, and we're here to stop and end the police brutality that we got here in Sonoma County. Thank you very much.